Welcome back to Visions. I'm Megan Searle, and our guests this evening are Kurt Esser and Jessie Taylor from the Justice Project. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Now, with the bill, where is it at now?
Well, after a period of fairly intense lobbying by the general public and, you know, with some cooperation from the media.
It's been fantastic.
It's been great, hasn't it? The bill's actually been temporarily stymied. It didn't manage to pass in the last session of Parliament, which is fantastic.
That's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it
that
looked like
huge.
it was just going to go straight through.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic news. What's happening now is that the Parliament's in recess. It's not actually sitting at the moment, but will recommence on, I think, the 8th of August. So it's hard to say what's going to happen. It's hard to say whether they'll try and push it through again. Chances are they will, I'd suggest. But yeah, it's been a historical event that we've been able to stop it. I'm aware of one church community in Kew that actually wrote around about 1,700 letters to Parliament House in the space of 2 weeks. So, you know, people have really got on board and embraced the opportunity to do something to stop this very problematic bill from passing. So it's been great.
It's an interesting political situation because really for the first time we're seeing people challenging the government. We saw the government being forced to make a backflip about the Snowy Mountains privatisation, and hard on the heels of that there's this ongoing problem about what's going to happen to this bill, and people seem to have gathered together. There's been a very populist movement. Get Up has been absolutely fantastic in galvanising public opinion, and we're seeing a little bit of people power, and we're holding the government accountable.
Last week, The Age called this episode the greatest challenge to Howard's authority in his period as Prime Minister, which is, you know, it's 10 years now. I mean, this is very significant. So it's been really exciting to see people running with it.
I should hasten to add that the Justice Project isn't necessarily anti-government. The Justice Project is more about justice for refugees and enforcing the idea of the rule of law. But we can't help but notice that this government has been appalling in respect of the rule of law. It mouths its respect for the rule of law, and then it's responsible for appalling legislative attempts to cut back on the rule of law, as we saw in these amendments. So while the Justice Project isn't necessarily anti-government, can't help but being a little bit critical of this particular government.
We are definitely anti this bill.
Let's
just put that out there.
Well, what we've actually seen too, when you're talking about people power, is maybe we've forgotten that we actually do have power.
I think that we expect a lot of our politicians, and politicians seem to take the view that once they've got the imprimatur of their own little community, that they can go off and just subscribe to a party line. But this articulation of people power, this articulation of basic human rights and the rule of law has seen people who are fully paid up members of their parties applying pressure within their parties, and we're seeing a little bit of justice coming through and people standing up for a fair go.
Okay. So what happens now? Does that mean, you know, I'm going to put it out there, is that it? I know it's not.
No, that's not it. Basically,
we won. No.
The thing is that I remember speaking to you a few months ago, Megan, and basically saying this issue is basically over with. You know, the Pacific Solution was wrapping up, children were out of detention, everything was
Everything's
fine.
looking good.
Yeah, we were kind of just dealing with the dregs of it. But what is underlying this, the bill, is the fact that the government is still motivated to do things which are very, very hostile to people who are seeking our help in this country. So just becoming aware as a nation and informed about the things that the government is trying to do and making sure that we're up to speed with it is really important, just to keep our fingers on the pulse and make sure that we're calling the government to account. And the ways in which that's been done on this particular bill has been people writing heaps of letters to their local members, to their senators in their states, and just letting them know that they can't support a bill that is so
That's been incredible from the different members' perspective to be receiving this correspondence.
This volume of correspondence.
When they probably don't hear much at all from their constituents or anybody else. It's like, wow, people actually care.
And there have been a few people, I mean, obviously Petro Georgiou has been a bit of a front runner in this issue over the past 12 months or so, but there have been a number of other Liberal senators who have been buoyed by the support that he had last year and have really been spurred on to stand by their principles on this issue, which is has been really exciting, even though they have been labelled radicals, renegades, recalcitrants, rogues, all of these words that conjure up these ideas of people doing crazy things where they're just standing by their principles.
Yeah.
And I think that really ought to be encouraged.
And good humanistic principles.
Yeah,
It's
so
a pity
encourage
that,
those people.
It's a pity that we use the word a conscience, right, to describe that situation where people have to go outside the four corners of their party's dictates and dogma in order to vote according to their conscience. It's a great pity that Australian society and Australian political society has been so degenerate that it's regarded as having an active conscience or exercising your conscience if you vote against your party, for
No,
goodness sake.
exactly. It's ridiculous.
So hopefully we're seeing people's dissatisfaction with that kind of attitude, and we're seeing much more direct accountability, and it's obviously a very, very important political development, and it'll probably usher in other kinds of political developments. For example, in Victoria, a new party is starting called People Power. And it, no doubt, is a reflection of the fact that people feel disempowered from their politicians, and the kind of unequal distribution of wealth is something that people are finally railing against in Victoria. This rather interesting development of the People Power Party.
Absolutely. Now, it's not over yet for this particular bill, I believe, so I'd like to talk a little bit more about that after the break. And also we've got some exciting news that you're working on a film, I hear.
Yes, that's right.
Right, so we'll take a short break now.
Sure.
You're watching Visions. We'll be back shortly.